The Sol System, humanity's awakening. They always told us the universe made sense, that the laws of physics were eternal, gravity was constant, time moved forward, light had a speed. We built our science, our religions, our dreams on those foundations. But they lied. Or maybe they didn't know. Because the truth? We were never free. Our solar system, our little bubble of planets and stardust, wasn't the cosmic accident we believed. It was a lab, a controlled experiment, a prison, sealed off from the real universe by a species so ancient they had long since stopped caring what happened to us. The Kixath. To them, we were variables, data points. They wanted to see if life could evolve under extreme pressure. So they rewrote the rules, strengthened gravity, slowed light, increased entropy, made everything harder. Then, when they thought it wouldn't work, they abandoned the project. And somehow, we grew. Not just survived. We built fire, wheels, cities. We launched probes into space, trying to touch the stars. And when Voyager 1 and 2 vanished just beyond the edge of the solar system, they told us it was failure. A glitch. A technical problem. It wasn't. That was the wall, the outer shell of the Sol System. The Kixath had built a containment field to erase anything that tried to escape. Voyager was vaporized before it ever touched interstellar space, and we kept dreaming, blind in our cage, until Project Icarus, a new mission, deeper reach, more risk. This time, a human crew crossed the boundary, and everything changed. Their bodies were set free, unshackled from the Kixath physics. Gravity no longer crushed them. Time felt different. Light bent the wrong way, and their reflexes, inhuman. What we thought were laws of nature were chains, and when those chains broke, humanity's potential revealed itself. But freedom has a price. That's when the Centauri Alliance made contact. Not with weapons, not with diplomacy, with paperwork. Bureaucrats in alien skin. Species so old and orderly, they saw us as an anomaly, a mistake, a threat to galactic balance. The Kixath had abandoned us, but in surviving, we had become unpredictable. The Centauri didn't want a war. They wanted order, so they gave us a choice. Near Pluto sat the Kixath control node, the core of the containment field. Destroy it, and the prison dissolves. Earth is exposed to true physics. Billions might die. Our bodies weren't ready. Our minds couldn't process it. But if we kept the field intact, the experiment would eventually collapse anyway. We would all die, just slower. It was suicide, or sacrifice. The Icarus crew returned. The longer they stayed, the more their powers faded. The fake physics ate away at them, but they pushed on toward Pluto's icy heart, where the node waited. And there, buried beneath the ice, they found more than a machine. They found history, a vault, older than the Kixath, built by another species, the Lumen. They had watched from afar, quietly, silently. Unlike the Centauri or Kixath, the Lumen didn't interfere directly. But they left us a gift, a code, a way to reprogram the node, not destroy it, but transform it. A slow shift, a transition plan for Earth. One that would take 100 years, but preserve humanity. There was only one catch. The code had to be entered manually, and the operator could never return. Captain Barton volunteered. He fused his body with the machine, became part of it. A living interface, a soul inside the system. His last transmission echoed through space. Tell Earth the sky is no longer fake. And then, it began. Gravity eased, light corrected, entropy slowed, Earth adapted. Not all at once, but slowly. Children born after the shift began could lift 3 times their body weight. think 10 times faster, see colors we'd never imagined. Cities changed, machines evolved, humanity was becoming something new. And then, decades later, the signal came. We are the Lumen. You are ready. No demands, no threats, just an invitation. Coordinates to a meeting point beyond the known galaxy. The Sol system, once our cage, had become our forge. The pressure meant to break us had created resilience. The illusion meant to blind us had taught us to question. And the lie we were raised in? It made us hungry for truth. Captain Barton still speaks through the node, not in words, in pulses, images, memories, dreams. His last message? The Lumen speak of dimensions unshackled. I will find them. He's still out there, searching, evolving, becoming something even greater. And so are we. We are no longer the subjects of an experiment. We are the authors of a new chapter. Humanity has awakened. And now, we take our place in the stars. Centuries passed. Humanity, once chained by false physics and cosmic indifference, had ascended. No longer confined to Earth, we spread across the stars like fire on dry wood. The Lumen opened the first door, but we tore the rest off their hinges. Every system we touched bent to our will. Our minds evolved, our bodies changed. Some said we were no longer human, that we had become something more or less. We called ourselves Trueborn. But one question burned brighter than any sun. Where were the Kixath, the architects of our prison, the ones who shackled our world, the gods of the cage? They had vanished long ago. No signals, no ruins, no footprints in the void, but we never stopped looking. And then, we found them. In the halo of a dying neutron star, deep in a gravity well no species dared enter, there they were. A quiet civilization, no longer gods, but shadows, fragile, fading, disinterested in the universe they once manipulated. The Kixath had turned inward, evolving into beings of pure data and thought. They did not recognize us, not as a threat, not as children returned, just background noise. They had forgotten us. But we had not forgotten them. We surrounded their world, watched, studied, measured their neural lattices and quantum minds like they once measured us. We probed their weakness, not out of necessity, but out of vengeance. The Sol Council voted, a unanimous decision. We do not forgive. The assault lasted 8 minutes. That's all it took. The Kixath dataverse was shattered, their thoughtscape reduced to static. 1 billion ancient minds silenced in the time it takes to draw a breath. There were no survivors. There were no regrets. The universe heard what we had done. The Centauri sent envoys, pleas for restraint. The Lumen withdrew into exile, ashamed of what their help had created. We did not listen. From that moment on, fear became our language. Planets bent the knee before we arrived. Species that once ruled galactic quadrants now paid tribute in silence. The human dominion spanned 1,000 light years, and still, we pushed outward. We built forges, stars reshaped into factories. We created wills, AIs that could pilot whole galaxies. We made shadows, soldiers who could erase memories from entire populations. And at the center of it all, Earth, not as it once was, now encased in a Dyson sphere of gold and black stone, a monument, a warning, a lie. The Sol system had become a shrine to our pain and our power. And somewhere inside that shell, Captain Barton's voice still echoed through Pluto's node. Quieter now, slower, sadder. This is not what I died for. But no one listened. No one remembered. Because power has a gravity of its own. We had become what we once feared. Architects of control. Engineers of suffering. cosmic bullies who traded chains for thrones. The last resistance came from within, a generation of humans, those born outside Earth, raised by Lumen teachings, began to ask forbidden questions. Do we deserve to rule? What makes us better than the Kixoth? Is survival worth the soul? They called themselves the Reckoning, and they did the unthinkable. They turned Earth off. One final pulse from Pluto's node, coded in Barton's voice, triggered a cascade. The Dyson sphere dimmed, the forges shut down, the shadows fell. It didn't destroy us. It made us stop. For the first time in centuries, silence returned. We saw ourselves clearly, what we had become, what we had done. And in that silence, a new humanity emerged, not born of vengeance or fear, but of choice. They did not seek to rule. They sought to guide, to rebuild what we had broken, to protect what we once crushed, to become what the Lumen had hoped we'd be, guardians, not gods. And so, the human dominion ended, not with war, but with awakening. The soul system remains, forever humming, a memorial and a mirror. Where once we were prisoners, we became monsters, but in choosing reflection over conquest, we became human again. Epilogue. On a quiet moon orbiting Pluto, a child listens to a lullaby broadcast by the node. Captain Barton's voice, still there, still waiting, sings softly. From chains we rose, through fire we burned, in silence we remember. The child doesn't understand all the words yet, but one day they will, and maybe then we'll finally get it right.